What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Trading Learning 101. This weekend I want to take a look at ticker symbol PRVB on the thinkorswim on demand platform. On Monday this had a really big short squeeze. I want to go back and look at what happened and read the tape, and I want to share this with you guys and break it down. This is how we get better as traders. We go back, we learn from history. That way we can better prepare ourselves for trades in the future. So let's jump into it. So first up with PRVB, we'll pull over FinViz right here. I always want to look at what the float is and the shares outstanding is. The float on this is a little bit bigger than what I'm used to trading. I like to trade more low float stocks under 10 million. With almost a 25 million float, this is on a bigger side of a float. This is 6 days after its move, so its average true range did change to $1.78, and short the float is barely nothing. And also institutional ownership isn't that much, just under 2%, and the insider ownership is at almost 14%. Next up, we'll look at the news of PRVB. On the 10th, they came out with positive results on their diabetes study. It was also initiated at a buy by Chardon Capital, and they also put a price target of $20 a share by Chardon Capital. So we have three catalysts on PRVB. One, their study shows positive results. Two, Chardon Capital initiated it as a buy. And three, they put a price target of $20 on this stock. That's why I say it's so key to act like an investigator when you're in the stock market and you're in pre-market. You want to always do research and look into everything that you're thinking about trading to break it down with psychology, the mental, the news, technical analysis, the SEC filings, and come up with a trading plan. We got keywords in the press release. Positive results, that's going to attract volume. Initiated at buy by Chardon Capital, and a price target announced at $20 a share. All these keywords are going to attract volume. Next up, we're going to look at the daily here. This stock is gapping up over $10. So this is gapping up to all-time new highs. That's also going to attract attention from traders. When a stock is gapping up to all-time new highs, there's really no resistance above it. So sky is the limit with a stock like this. Breaking down the monthly chart right here, this is a recently newer IPO that opened up a year ago in 2018 in July. It was priced at $8, and since that $8, it came all the way down to $1.50, and it's just been slowly moving its way up here on the monthly. And this is the weekly chart of it. And again, here is the daily chart of PRVB, just really gapping up huge above all these days here. So it goes along with the saying, I'm looking to trade a stock with the least overhead resistance. Now you may have people say, this is gapping up way too much from $4.50 all the way up to $10, but price action doesn't lie. And that's what shorts thought looking at this pre-market. It's up way too much. Gap is already priced in with all the news from $4.50 up to $10. Shorts pile into it, and this is why I want to break this video down. Again, here we got pre-market gapping up from 450s all the way to a high of almost $13. This comes back down to this 1040 level right here, and it's just been consolidating just before the open from 1040 all the way up to $12. This $10 level right here is going to be a very, very tough mental resistance level. It's just like the $1 level, the $10 level, and the $100 level. Those are the three biggest resistance support lines in the stock market. Because you got to think, a stock is going from a single digit $1 and now it's an official two-digit $10 stock. That's a big mental level to cross, and it's hitting all-time new highs. So that's why I always say psychology is really, really huge for me in the stock market. You want to try to think of what everybody else is thinking and trade off of really big mental levels. And this has been trading really well pre-market off of mental levels. Every 50 cents, every whole dollar. It runs up right here to about $10, gets denied. Almost to $10 right there, starts trending its way on up, and then breaks through that $10 level right here. Trends all the way up, finds resistance right underneath that mental level 13, and then this slowly pulls back. First to $11, pop back up to 12, back down to 11, then to 11.50, and then all the way down to about 10.50. 10.50 to 11, 10.50 to almost $12, and then finds support there again at that 11 area, right back up to $12, all the way back down, and you see how it surged right there through that $11 back down to 10. Little putter there, back down to 10, and then right back up to 11. So it's just really nicely consolidating in this range. But let's jump into it and break down when this opened at the market. I just remember seeing so much selling going on the tape right here. Shorts got squeezed, and this had an epic move. So let's jump in and take a look at it. We got 30 seconds till the market opens. When the market opens, I try to let the first 5 minutes play out to let the stock determine where it wants to go and try to really focus in and zero in on the tape. I want to try to get a feel for what's going on. And I'll break it up to the regular orders, and then I'll have another tape right here of displaying orders 2,000 and above. So let's get into it. Market opens right now, and here goes the tape. Even if the stock dips below that 1050 level and doesn't come all the way down to around 25 cents, it's still showing strength. It's liking this 1050 area. And even if it falls below that 1050 area, I'd want to see $10. That real big mental level hold as support. All the way down to 1020s. A lot of selling coming in through on the tape. A lot of selling. Breaks through 1025. Sometimes Thinkorswim on demand could be a little bit laggy, but it is what it is. It's still holding though, dipping all the way down to 1010. 1010 up to this 1040 level, 1050 still holding, popping up to 1070. A lot of selling still going through on the tape here as I'm watching this. When I'm seeing all this selling going on and I see the stock dipping the way it is, it's not having any huge rip to the downside. Normally at the open, if you'll see if a stock is weak, you'll see just a huge rip down $1, $1.50, $2. But so much selling is coming in on the tape here, as I can see, and this is just slowly, little bit by little bit, going down and down. $283,000 in volume the first minute. This mental level, see how this $10 held on it? And it's just below the VWAP as well. That's why I was thinking on Monday, if it could hold this $10 level, and if it can get over $11 and this VWAP, it could be a big explosion. Because that's two catalysts that I'm seeing for a stock to explode up. And you got to think there's multiple traders out there that trade off of all kinds of different strategies. You got the level 2 down here as well. I normally don't pay attention to the level 2 that much at the open. I only want to try to focus on the tape. Because people can manipulate the level 2. You can't manipulate the tape. You see how it's doing that? It's slowly making higher lows. First it touched down here at around just beneath 10. Then it slowly came, or it ripped up to 1075, but when it pulled back, it's liking this 1025 area. Volume is dying down as well. So that's when you know a big move is about to be coming up. It's I just love this mental area of $10. That's a big level. See how it's like stair stepping down a little bit, getting tighter and tighter and tighter, right down to this $10 level. comes down to 10. It's holding 10, and that's the area where I think a lot of shorts piled into this thing, and it held, and it didn't break below 10. Shorts are anticipating it for it to break below this $10 level. It's gapped up way too much. Short sellers want to attack it. And then when they see that it's not breaking to the downside, that's when you have shorts covering their positions and you have buyers entering in and buying it up, which causes for an explosion. And this is what is about to happen right here. Just from the open, just got tighter and tighter and tighter right there, forming a very, very tight wedge. More selling, more selling, more selling, but they just will not drop. Eventually, short sellers are going to give up and they're all going to cover their positions. And that's when it's just going to explode. Let me pause this real quick just to show you guys with the volume right here trending down the way it is. You see how it kept trending down and then you got this big candle right here that's red. That's selling coming into it because the short sellers thought they had it. It was about to break to the downside, and this $10 just held. They just could not bring it down. And then boom, here it goes up to that 1070 level, 1080, 1090. Ripping to the upside. Short sellers are covering their positions. Buyers are stepping up. Let me pause this real quick. It's testing this $11 area right now and this VWAP trying to explode to the upside. You start to see all these big orders coming in right here. This is why I have this extra column right here. Because look at on the left side here, you don't really get to see that. Right here you can. You get to see where the big money is. And right here you see the buying starting to sidestep up. And then even right here as well, the accumulation of the buying versus the selling. You see with each candle, the buying gets more and more and more on it. Even the selling, with the starting with this candle right here, you could just see it dying off right there. Slowly dying off as the buying is stepping up. That's why you want to try to analyze everything. testing that $11 area. I want to see buyers attacking the ask. I want to see them attacking the ask, taking the ask, taking the ask. Green prints, green prints. Pulls back down to 1050 to 1030s. But what that is to me, I'll let one more candle form on this before I pause it. It's holding that 1040, 1035 area. Still holding 1030s down to 1025. Look at that big volume candle right there. That's 274,000 in volume. Almost just as much as the first minute open. And then look at that, back down to $10 again. See, that's why it's not good to chase a stock. This came all the way up to almost 11. If you would have chased that, this pulled all the way back $1. Still holding that $10 level, but this time around, we're seeing a lot more green prints compared to last time, right here at this $10 level, when we've seen a bunch of just red prints. You could see it's making higher lows as well, all the way up to this $11 area. We're approaching 9:45, 15 minutes after the market opened. We've seen this thing from $11 to $10 getting tighter and tighter. And there it goes, finally breaking above that $11. Real quick, I just want to pause this. Volume's at 230,000 so far with this breakout candle. Compared to this big sell-off right here, volume is at 274,000 and the open volume is at 283,000. So just go through and compare the volume with each of these candles. You see it right there at the market open, the first minute. That's when you're going to get the most volume in a candle. This trended down, and then right when it was about to look like it was going to break here, shorts started piling in it, and then we almost had 200,000 with this candle at 190,000. And then it popped up, came back down, came back up, and then people thought it was going to break out right here. Look at the volume, 274,000 in volume. It couldn't quite get up to the first minute candle right here, but then this candle comes along, big buying pressure on it, 230,000 in volume. And look at that, 260,000 in volume on this breakout candle right here. Just look at all that accumulative buying right there. When it pulled back down into this $10 level, I think that really gave buyers confidence that this $10 level is holding. And then right here, right off that $10, you just see the strong buying right there, 70,000. Another 70,000 right there, and then 260,000, which is leading up to this breakout. And I believe this is where it ran into a halt. Should reopen here in 3 seconds. Stock got halted right there. At 11.69, it opens back up at $12. And you could still see right here on the tape at $12, there's still huge buyers right there. Look at that. 7,600, 9,200, 4,100, 3,600, 4,000. Big buyers there at $12. Look at that. Just from that $10 level, ran all the way up to almost $12.50. Nice $2.50 rip. I'm seeing selling on the tape, but I'm seeing a lot more buying. People are not done with this. You got to think, people are going to get FOMO and want to chase this. But I would still want to wait for a pullback on this after that big explosion. Big print of selling right there. You see how this whole page just flashed with red sell orders, and you've seen it dip down to 1180. It's still holding this $12 area though. Still holding it. Look at the volume come in on that thing. Hit pause on this real quick. With these two candles right here on that big breakout, look at the volume right here. 460,000, 480,000 in just 1 minute. This stock is trading 500,000 shares in volume. That's a lot of volume pumping into this. You could see right there too, with these two candles, there's more sellers than there are buyers. So after that pop right there, even pausing this one more time and you zoom out on it, where did this top out at pre-market? At 1290. So even with this pop to the upside, it's popping up to the pre-market highs. Even right there, you're going to think, shorts are going to think this is up too much, and they're going to short it. It's not going to break this pre-market high. It's going to touch it. Shorts are going to pile in and hopefully try to ride it back down to this $10 level. And look at right there on the tape. There's a big 20,000 share seller right there. Right up to 1290s. Ran into a wall. It's getting pretty tight up there. Here it goes, right up to that resistance of 1290. Just coming right up to it. If it breaks this 1290 level, look at that surge. See how it surged like that? Up 50 cents. Then when it finally breaks, that's when you'll see a lot of people chase it. Up to 1350s, 1360s almost. Thought this thing was going to run into a halt right there just below 14. $14. Now if it can break over 14, watch for it to surge up. $14.28. Just going and going and going and going. Look at all this buying right here. Over every candle is at around over 300,000. I could see when a stock's going up like this, really, really hard to have patience letting this thing run and do its thing. That's a lot of times why when I see a big short squeeze, I tell myself, you know, man, why couldn't I just hold on to a little bit of my shares when this thing ran up $10 nonstop? And when you actually look and watch it real time like we are right now, it's really, really hard because it just slowly but surely trickles its way up. And when you see a pop, you try to take that profit because a lot of times I've seen stocks pop and then just rip down really, really hard. And that's why it's always good to take profits off the table. You see how it's kind of flatlining right here at 1430, but then it just gets momentum and up she keeps going. I would have been probably waiting for a pullback back down to old resistance there at 13 and hang around there and work its way up. Look at that. And then just surges up to almost $15. 15 right there. $15.12, $15.13. $30. And this is a bigger float stock too, at 25 million. It's not ripping like a low float, but it's gradually just grinding and grinding and grinding its way out. This is why I want to study PRVB. That way, a short squeeze like this happens again on a stock with a float like this, I'll be prepared to kind of at least expect on what happened with a stock that was similar, like PRVB. Low float stocks tend to rip more violently when they're getting a short squeeze. That's when you'll see those stocks skipping dollars. PRVB with the float at 25 million. This is more of like a short squeeze that's a grinder. It's just slowly grinding its way up 25, 30 cents at a time. That's what's happening with this thing too. It'll grind its way up and it'll get just one red pullback. And then it'll just keep grinding and grinding and grinding. One red pullback. Grinding, grinding, grinding. One red pullback. Grinding, grinding, grinding. All the way up to $16 now. And then it runs into a halt here at 16.12. And then just look at all this buying right here on it. That's so much buying. And with the lower floats or a higher float stock, you got to think as well. It's like a freight train. Once it gets going, it's hard for it to stop. So it's going to take a lot of selling to get this to slow down, like a big, huge freight train. So always think of a float as a train. The lower it is, the faster it is. The bigger the float is, the bigger the train is. And it may be slow to start off when it gets to going, but once it gets going to top speed, it's hard to slow it down, and it'll just keep going, and it'll take out anybody who steps in its way. But every single volume candle here, I'm seeing average 300,000 in volume. And then it opens up right there. Look at that. That was a really, really fast push. From 16, opened back up, popped 1615, 1675, all the way up to 1773. Now it's really, really got momentum and it's going. 1825, 1880. This thing's just surging up. Almost 19. Over 19. I think it just ran into another halt. Nope. That's crazy. Right from 16, look at that. Opens back up and just surges all the way up to 1965. Nice $3.50 just rip. And even look at that with the volume. You've seen the volume is trending down right here with the buying, and then it just picks right back up. All right here. Trending down, 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 and then just rips right back up. And then it gets a big flush. That's why you don't want to chase stocks. Held that 1750, and look at that. It ripped right back up to 1850. See, with that candle right there, that gave me a little hint in this stock that it still has strength. And look at that, ripped right back up to new highs at 1990. When a stock sold down like that, and you've seen how it was right here at 1750, they could not break this below 1750. And then it ripped right back up from 1750 back up to 1850, a dollar pop, and then it closed with leaving behind that wick right here. That's showing me that there's still strength in this. It fell down and buyers stepped in and lifted it back up to close. Little notices like that could be a big payday for you. And then look what happened. It reclaimed after that close. Buyers stepped in, and then from 1850, it ripped up to $19.90. Just like that. And then again, we're at that huge, huge mental level, $10 level. We were at $10 and now we're at $20. $20 is going to be a huge, huge mental level. And real quick, that's why you got that long candle upper wick just below 20. Get it? We're at that big mental level, $20, that $10 level. Other traders know that as well. So when it pops up to that level, people are going to take their profits. rips right back down to 1750. And it holds. $17.50 keeps testing it and testing it, testing it. Look at that. It could not break below that $17.50. When buyers see that, that's when buyers will step in and scalp it. And possibly say to themselves, hey, this isn't over. This $17.50 level, it came down here, held, came down right here, and it's holding again. This is a risky play though. It really could hurt your account when you're trying to chase something up like this. But because if it breaks below that $17.50, it could drop all the way back down to $15, $16. But that $17.50 level held, and look it, we got a nice little pop up to $18.50. Possible nice dollar scalp right there. You can see it's setting up as well. Volume's trending down on it. It's consolidating in this area before its next move, either to the upside or to the downside. And look at right there, it cracked that $17.50 level. This is a part where you could really see a stock fall and hurt your account. And market makers like to play games sometimes. They know, real quick, they know that 1750 is the support level. So all these market makers know a lot of people have their stops just below 1750 to protect themselves. And look what they just did. They brought this down and they ripped it right through that 1750 down to $17 to take everybody out. And then look what they did. They ripped it right back up. They ripped it right back up and then off it went up to $19. You see how the market makers like to play games? You'll see them do that a lot. And it's also trapping shorts as well. If you got to think about short sellers as well. If it broke through this support right here, they're like, oh snap. Just like a newbie trader, when a stock's breaking a resistance level and about to break out to the upside, you got those people with FOMO that want to chase it. They'll market order in and jump in, and the stock will rip right back down. Just like right here when it ripped down, short sellers started piling in. All right, this is it. It finally broke that 1750 level, and then it ripped right back up, and then now shorts have to cover for a loss. That's crazy how they did that. Ripped it right down to 17 and then popped it right up to 19. A $2 pop. Look at that. This is when emotions could really start triggering. When you spot something like that, you got to think, if you're long on this and you got just taken out right here by the market with your stop below 1750, and then you took a loss, and then the stock rips back up $1.50, and you're thinking to yourself, I could have just been in profit right now because I got in at $17.50 or $18, and I just took a loss, and the stock is up to where I would have been taking profit. That's when your emotions will kick in. You could just really, really hurt your account. You got to walk away sometimes because you'll end up chasing this, and your loss could become even bigger, and you'll break your rules as a trader. This is going to be a super, super long video. Super long. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to break this down this weekend. So I said, why not just record it? I can watch it, and I'll post it for all you guys to watch it. If you're watching this all the way through, congratulations, you're a dedicated trader. Look at that. Rips right up to 20. Right after this tops out, I'll end it probably. You see how it did that too? Has a rounding bottom right there. Rounding bottoms are bullish. Rounding tops are bearish. Runs right into a halt. Right from this 1820 level. Look at that. Just rips right up $2 and into a halt. When a stock's consolidating like this, always keep tabs on the volume, because that's when you'll know a stock's getting really, really tight and a big move is about to happen to either the upside or the downside. And you can see that right here. The volume's just slowly trending down and down and down and down because the stock is getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And then that's when you'll either see the big explosion to the upside or the downside. And then look at that big volume bar right there just before it got halted. Then they gapped it up from 20. They gapped it up to 21.15. And then look at that huge rip all the way down to 19. Nice dollar gap up though. Really, really fast rip to the downside though. That's why market ordering could really, really hurt you. If you were in on this and you market order sold right out of the halt, this ripped all the way down to 1885, you probably would have taken a loss or broke even. And look at that. From 20 shoots up to 21.40. $22, just over 22. Really, really crazy move. From $10 all the way up to $22 in a span of an hour, from 9:30 all the way to 10:24. And then you think of the possibilities. If I had 1,000 shares and just let it run all the way, that would have been $12,000. If I had 5,000 shares, that would have been over $50,000. But as a trader, you just gotta look at reality. All I really want of this is a piece of the pie and move on. There's no way someone could really have the patience to catch this whole entire move. But if you were able to kill it and take profit just on pops all the way up, congratulations. It's hard to trade a stock like this. A lot of emotionals, a lot of emotions, I would say. But it tops out right there at 22.82. We'll go back to what this did for the day. Topped out up here at 22.82 and sold all the way back down to $20. And there's still opportunity on this as a trader. This is why you go back and you learn. I should have just cleared everything. Look what this did though. Great examples on this. This topped out at 22.82. This pulled right back to that $20 level, that mental level right there. Because it was resistance right there, resistance there, support right there, topped out all the way up here, and having patience, letting it come all the way back to that mental area of $20. This would have been a nice pop from $20 all the way up to $21. A lousy $20 or a dollar move, but hey, something like that, a simple trading strategy like that, someone could be very profitable on. And then it came back down and it surged right through that $20 level right here. Bounced right at 18.50 and surged right back up to that $20 level right there. Then that $20 was resistance. And then this just slowly but surely trended down and down and down, making lower lows. And this is why I like looking at mental areas. You can see right here at 1650, a mental area. This was finding support. Let the lower lows keep going and going and going. It finally stopped making a lower low right here at 1650. And then it came and it popped up to $18, a nice $2 range from $1.50 range from 1650 up to another mental level, $18. All right, it put its range in. Then what happened? This came all the way back down, and look at where it bounced off of. 1650 right there, popped up to 18, back down to 1650, slow grind up to 18 and 1850, slowly sold all the way back down to 1650, and then slowly grinded all the way back up to 1850, back and forth, back and forth, back down to 1650, and then a grind right here, a little grind, and then a surge back up to 1850. Even if you missed all this right there, there was still lots of opportunity on it right here. Just scalping it back and forth with a $1.50 range. Back and forth, back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4. About 4 or 5 opportunities on this range from 11 o'clock all the way to 12:30, an hour and a half, even after what it did here in the morning. So it just goes to show you there's still opportunity out there. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's a little long, but I had a lot of fun making it with you guys. Make sure you guys smash that like button for me. And if you're not a subscriber of the channel already, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. And down in the description of this video down below, I have a link to the Discord chat room that I have. If you're a dedicated trader and love the stock market as much as I do, feel free to join the Discord Trading Learning 101 community. And let's all grow as traders. But alright guys, until next time, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. Alright, later everyone. But real quick, this is what the stock did at the end of the day. After it broke through this range here from 1650 all the way up to this range here just over 18, you could see how it surged through right there, came down to the VWAP. It did get a real fast bounce at the VWAP, but then fell right below it. Then VWAP was resistance, just slowly trickled off as the day went on, and just had surging and selling from this $12 level. It did grind its way all the way up to a high of 14 and even to a high all the way up here at 16.15. So a nice $4 grind right here at the end of the day. And then as the week went on, there was opportunity on this. There really was. When you really zoom out on a chart and look, the next day it sold off from this level all the way down to this $12 area right here and bounced right there and right there for all from that level all the way up to $14 up here. what is that? From $12.50 all the way up to $14. So $1.50, nice move right there. I'm not a fan of Thinkorswim charts. Opens up at $15.50 all the way down to $12.50. $3 sell-off right there. From $12.50 all the way up to $13.50. Came right back down to support right there. Easy play. See support there. Came right back down to it. Popped right up here to the VWAP. And then it just slowly died off as the day went on. And then the rest of the week, this is what it did. From this $10 to $11.50 area, it's still above $10, that mental level. So until this can break that $10 level, this hasn't reached the backside of its move yet. But that's going to wrap it up for this, guys. Till next time, have that patience, have that discipline, and study, study, study. All right, later, everyone.